Could a new trade route through Iraq cut transport times by nearly half and challenge the dominance of the Suez Canal? Iraq's ambitious $17 billion project, the Global Development Road, stretches over 1,200 kilometers, linking the vibrant markets of Asia directly to Europe's economic powerhouses. This corridor not only promises to revolutionize global trade, but also aims to invigorate Iraq's own economic landscape by creating jobs and boosting infrastructure development. But with numerous geopolitical and financial hurdles in the way, will this bold venture reshape the global trading map or just become another unfulfilled vision? Let's get into the details. Back in the mid-4th century BC, Alexander the Great had a vision that stretched his empire from Greece to the far reaches of Asia, choosing Babylon, modern-day Iraq, as his center. Fast forward to today, and Iraq is drawing on that ancient inspiration. They've rolled out a grand plan called the Global Development Road. This isn't just any road, it's a sprawling network stretching 1,200 kilometers from the southern shores along the Gulf up to the northern border with Turkey and even beyond into Europe. Think of it as a mega bridge, connecting the bustling industrial hubs of Asia with the high-tech and fertile landscapes of Europe. Starting from the southern part of Fa and slicing through 10 Iraqi cities to reach the Turkish border, this corridor is lined with railways and highways. With an initial cash splash of $17 billion, Iraq is betting on turning a cool annual profit of about $5 billion. But here's where it gets tricky. The road to success is cluttered with a few roadblocks: regional politics, security concerns, the influence of local tribes, and the hesitant hands of foreign investors. Plus, 3 other global trade paths could sidestep Iraq's ambitious project. Each of these routes, whether through Iran to Turkey or from Saudi Arabia to Israel, presents its own challenges and opportunities. So the big question hanging in the air is, can Iraq's Global Development Road really stand out in this competitive landscape? Will it become the world-class route it aims to be, or will it struggle to find its footing among the giants? Erdogan, the president of Turkey's recent visit to Iraq, was quite a headline. It was his first in 13 years. And it wasn't just a friendly catch-up. It was about signing 26 agreements, including one for this ambitious project. The narrow and shallow coastal areas around Basra and the Shatt al-Arab have always been a problem when building a large port. So Iraq has had to rely on countries like Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey to export energy. But with the planned Grand Al-Fa port on the Persian Gulf, which is said to be Iraq's biggest infrastructure project ever, things are about to change. This port will connect with the development road, creating a smooth highway and rail link from Basra to Turkey's border and then on to London. The first phase is expected to be ready by 2028. Now, while the official estimate for the development road is around $17 billion, some experts think the final cost might hit $24 billion. Just building the railway between Gaziantep and Ovakoy could cost $5 billion alone. But thanks to partners like the UAE and Qatar, who have deep pockets, funding isn't a huge concern. The biggest draw of the development road is its speed and cost effectiveness. It promises to shave off about 10 days from the time it takes to transport goods to Europe compared to the Suez Canal. And since Iraq is the only non-EU country on the route, it offers some serious bureaucratic shortcuts, saving a lot of money. Plus, most of the logistics in Turkey are already set up, giving the development road a real advantage over other projects like the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor announced last September. But how did the idea of this project come to be? So, the development road project didn't just pop out of nowhere. It was born from a time when Iraq was really going through it. The country was simmering with public frustration over how things were being run. Politically, economically, it was a bit of a mess. People were fed up, and the government needed a big move to turn the tide. That's where the development road came in, seen as a shiny beacon of hope to diversify an economy that was way too hooked on oil and gas. Now, this wasn't about shaking up the entire political scene or changing who held the power. No, it was more about showing that the government could pull off massive projects and maybe, just maybe, make everyday life better for its people. When Mohammed Shia al-Sudani took over as prime minister, he didn't just roll with the project, he owned it. He saw the development road as a golden ticket to speed up Iraq's economic growth, connect more with the global markets, and create jobs that were sorely needed. Even though this project started before Sudani's time, he branded it as a centerpiece of his mission to revive the economy. His administration was tagged as a services government, meaning they were all about boosting service quality and really addressing what the citizens needed. This was his way of saying, let's focus on development and not get stuck in the same old political quicksand that held back previous leaders. Remember, Sudani stepped into leadership against a dramatic backdrop. The country had been in political turmoil since major protests in October 2019, which actually toppled the government back then. And it wasn't just a one-off. This chaos stretched over the next few governments, tangled up in conflicts between major political factions. This period was marked by street protests, political standoffs, and even armed skirmishes. But now, there seems to be hope. The Development Road is a major economic endeavor with a hefty political undertone. Essentially, it's about maintaining the status quo, but with a twist, by tackling some of the economic hurdles along the way. Nasser al-Assadi, an advisor to Sudani on transportation matters, put it beautifully. He said the Development Road isn't just about enhancing cross-border trade. It's like a new artery for the Iraqi economy, pumping fresh opportunities throughout the country. This project will not only connect the Fa port in the south to the Iraqi-Turkish border through roads and railways, but will also spark a wave of industrial activity. Factories and workshops will spring up along its route, buzzing with commercial life and creating heaps of jobs. And since most of this development is planned outside the bustling city centers, in quieter desert areas, it's going to shift the economic heartbeat of Iraq. Crowded urban areas with their old-school infrastructure will get some much-needed relief as economic activity fans out, encouraging people to move and thrive in new areas. Now, let's talk specifics. The Development Road will stretch around 740 miles, featuring a dedicated road for trucking and a dual rail line for both passengers and freight. Starting from the Fa port, this road will cut across 10 governorates and end at Faish Kabur at the Iraqi-Turkey border. From there, it links up with Turkish rail and highway networks. By 2028, we're looking at a freight capacity that hits around 3.5 million containers and 22 million tons of bulk cargo annually. Fast forward a decade, and those numbers are expected to double to 7.5 million containers and 33 million tons of cargo. And by 2050, a huge 40 million tons of cargo, plus the high-speed train service, it's set to handle 13.8 million passengers every year right from the start. Now, this project isn't just a new route for trade. It's potentially a strategic lifeline during regional conflicts or wars. Why? Because unlike China's Silk Road, which doesn't pass directly through Iraq, the Development Road offers a direct alternative that might just be a game changer. Now, think about the impact on shipping times. Huge, right? Shipments that normally take about 45 days via the Cape of Good Hope or 35 days through the Red Sea could be trimmed down to just 25 days once the Development Road is up and running. That's not just faster, it's a logistical leap forward. With the 2025 elections on the horizon, you might wonder if a political shuffle could throw a wrench in the works. But according to al-Sadawi, there's no need to worry. He's confident that no matter who's in charge, the Development Road won't be derailed. It seems this project is set to roll ahead, full steam, no matter the political landscape. Undoubtedly, Iraq's new Development Road project is catching the eye of countries far and wide, and it's easy to see why. The project isn't just another road, it's a strategic gem, perfectly placed to draw on European investors looking for a smart bet. So what's the promise? To make shipping faster and more efficient than the old Suez Canal route, provided of course that Iraq can keep the peace at home. Stability is key here, not just for the project's success, but for its very existence. Officials have pointed out that this road could stretch all the way into Europe through Turkey, but it's not all smooth sailing. They warn that while the Development Road could spice up trade routes by diverting some traffic from the Suez Canal, especially for smaller goods, the iconic canal will still hold its ground for the big stuff that needs ships. So while the new road might shake things up a bit, the Suez Canal isn't stepping down from the throne of maritime trade anytime soon. So what do you think will be the biggest challenge for the global Development Road? And how do you see it influencing the future of international trade? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos like this one.